It's been 7 years since we've done shit. It's been even longer since I felt confident in this program, Norvell's got it together. Jordan Travis is a fucking man. Keon Coleman's a dog. Absolute dog. Are there any other dogs? Jaden Bethune, dog. Jared Verse, dog. Fabian Lovett, dog. Johnny Wilson, dog. Trey Benson, dog. We coming for you. Number one in the country. Georgia Bulldogs, watch out. Michigan Wolverines, watch out. We got the best backfield, best linebacker core, best quarterback in the country. You name it, we're coming for you.
Y'all heard it. Y'all heard him. Y'all heard him, man. Exciting times, man. What's going on, bro? This your boy at Big Game James _36. And this is a special moment in BS with me. And just vibing, just chopping it up with everybody, man. Just figured we come up and just have a great day. Great chop. Let's talk about what's going on with the No Nation. Bring a little bit of positivity to your Sunday. One of the things, again, if it was easy to be undefeated, everybody would be. It's very, very, very difficult to be able to be 4-0. That's why there aren't a lot of teams that are doing it. And we saw this past weekend, a couple teams are off. It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There are 28 undefeated teams remaining in FBS football, some of which we know will not remain undefeated as they play each other. We know that there's Penn State, Michigan, and Ohio State. There are 3 of your undefeateds. They will eventually play each other. USC, Oregon, Utah, Washington State. Those teams are going to all eventually play each other. There are 3 SEC schools, Georgia, Kentucky, Missouri, that are all undefeated. Those are all teams that are in the SEC East. They all play each other. There are 6 ACC teams that are undefeated. Florida State, Louisville, Duke, North Carolina, the U, and Syracuse, Texas, and Oklahoma are undefeated. 1 service academy school is undefeated. 4 of the undefeateds remaining are African-American coaches. Ohio State beat Notre Dame to knock them down. This is just a tremendous year in college football. And nobody's more battle-tested than the Florida State Seminoles in the current climate in which FSU is in. For those who don't know, I'm at Big Game James _36, and this is basically our breakdown, post-game wrap-up breakdown of what we just witnessed yesterday. And yesterday was a phenomenal game. Before we get into all of that, I went as a representative of the TaxSlayer Gator Bowl, and I cannot even lie to you, man. I just want to give major props to the Clemson fan base. Treated me tremendously well. Now, somebody kind of bust my bubble a little bit. I don't know if all fans there. One, before I even get into that, shout out to all of our fans that went into enemy territory. Anybody who sees me in the streets, if you got positive energy, even if we're losing, and you come up, you talk to me. You bring your Bleak. This is for you, Bleak. Oh, is your comment showing? Your comment. Yeah, I need your comment to show up. You see me in the streets, you talk to me. You don't hide. It was plenty of people who I talked to who saw me. Give me the feedback. Give me the love. Let me know, hey, man, you're doing a good job. Tell me, I had so many people tell me they love Trey's take. And I had to share it back with him and just give him the encouragement, the good stuff, man. It's a lot of these guys, a lot of people are way too pretentious and stuck up. I'm not that. Signed autographs. I was down there. People were just like, yo. And then the Clemson fans noticed, like, hey, man, hold up. Why are these Florida State guys talking to you? And then, like, I kind of played there, man. But it was just a all-around good time. I was in the press box. They put us over there with a lot of the beat. Saw Chris Nee. Guys, the War Chant guys were there. A lot of people were there. a lot of them like, how the hell are you here and you got to go back to the Jags? Because as people know, I literally came back and came home, brushed my teeth, got a little bit of a nap, went and covered the Jaguars today in that debacle. But we'll talk about that tomorrow on the show. Montroy, a lot of people, couple housekeeping notes. I believe you can get that shirt that Jalen Deloach had on at Picked. I talked to Rob. Pop Deloach said he got it from my tailgate. So the only people who were selling apparel at the tailgate that I remember was Picked. So, you know, a lot of you guys don't know how to, like, I think we'll have Picked at the next tailgate. It was really, really dope. Real good brand. Go support them. They help out a lot of stuff. As always, if you guys have any questions, you know, please feel free to put them in the chat. Super chat definitely puts up a bright ass color. Or if you're a new member, it puts up a bright ass color. That helps with it. We love it. I like when everybody comes in and greets each other. You know, make sure we all know, you never know, this might be the only time somebody's gotten a pleasant word today. So let's try to keep that in before we start getting into the rigmarole, which I do like the bullshit too. But we want to make sure that everybody is happy in a good state. As my guy Ramon, I think he posted, you know, the Jags lost. So we got to talk about the positive shit, because I got to talk about the Jags negatively tonight on First Coast News. I got to throw my suit on. I got to wear blue because the Texans won. I got to have a blue suit and my red stuff, man. Bleak, we're going to have a big tailgate for the Miami game. It's friend, bring your brother, bring everybody. We're going to all come up in there. We're going to all chop it up, have a great time, fellowship as Florida State tries to remain undefeated with that. But back to being a part of the Gator Bowl and the things that I was able to do and accomplish with that. I went on the sideline, took my guy Dane Bennett, who's with Baptist Health. With the Gator Bowl, we're a part of the Chairman's Club. The Chairman's Club is a bunch of different businesses in the local Jacksonville area. These people get a chance to go and scout different games. A lot of us are obviously fans of different schools, and especially with the Gator Bowl being a SEC, ACC tie-in. Most of the people are from the South or from the Jacksonville area, so they're either a lot of Bulldogs, a lot of fans. But you can go see any game, and they send us a list of games, and you go out there and you say, "I want to scout this one." Well, this one and the Pitt game were the two games I picked. Now, certain places treat you a little bit better. Clemson didn't treat us bad. They just kind of got you stuck up in the box, and you don't really get a good all-in pass. You get a field pass. But if you go in, you treat different guards right. You tell them, hey, man, I'm here with the Gator Bowl. We got to get some pictures on the field so that we can get our obligation, which is all true. They let us get on the field. And I told my guy, Dane, I said, Dane, if we stay over here on Clemson sideline, somebody's going to kick us off if we don't have a band. But I can promise you, if we get over to that Florida State sideline, ain't nobody kicking us off. And so Dane was the first person to get the unofficial all-in membership access. So Dane got a chance to see exactly what it's like to be big game at a big game. And he saw everybody talk to me. He got a chance. I mean, he met every player. Every player stopped and said, what's up? Every coach stopped and said, what's up? From was it Frey to he met Chuck. He met almost anybody. He met the strength and conditioning coaches. Verse took pictures with guys. He got a chance to see Money Mike Norvell introduced himself to him. We were there. We were out there, man. It was a great time. I'm telling you, when I get you so for the sideline passes pregame for my all-in members, you get a guy. I'm gonna try to interview Dane so he can do a little wrap up about what it was like. Let him brag to you about what it's like to be with me. That's what you're getting. So it's only 7 of y'all, but 7 of you guys get a chance to see that. And remember, if you're an all-in member through football season and active once February comes in, if you make it to Vegas, you party like I party. So we have the Super Bowl access. We'll have access to the Daytona 500 coming up as well for the all-in members. We will also have, if you get to the combine, remember I told you I got to work during the day. The partying for the combine happens at night. If you're at Indianapolis, you'll get a chance to meet some of your favorite coaches, favorite pro teams. Membership has its perks. We also had it was a battle in the college football pick'em. I'll announce the winner tomorrow. I thought I wasn't going to have to pay $50 this week. I was crossing my fingers, man. I thought I won. Looks like I lost. We got the NFL pick'em as well. We got battling very strong in our member-only fantasy football league. Again, membership has its perks. We will be giving away. Remember, Virginia Tech game is sold out, but we give away a pair of tickets every Wednesday, the Wednesday before every game. So we got a pair of Virginia Tech tickets to give away. Once we get to 3,000 subs, we will give away another pair of tickets. So we are like 93 subs away from that 3,000 mark. If we get to 5,000, I will give away another pair of tickets I'll give away 2 pairs of tickets to the now sold out University of Miami game. So when you're sharing this on your timeline, nobody else is giving you guys this kind of access. Nobody else is like, I don't hear y'all talking about, man, I won $50 playing a college football pick'em with War Chant, with Wake Up War Chant. I don't hear about that with but you can come. I see y'all giving the super chats for that, and I see y'all doing the memberships and things like that, but nobody's giving you anything back. I'm giving you back because I still drop my nuggets in the ticker in the 5th quarter. I'll give you guys the game when I'm speaking to you, but I figure what better way to do some stuff. And I got some businesses that are lining up. I think Green Acres, when Green Acres comes back, if you purchase a gun through Green Acres, they'll give you a pack of bullets with it. They've done that before in the past. It's kind of cool because what's the purpose of having a gun if you ain't got no bullets? I also got my dry cleaner told me that he'll give you guys 10% off if you're a member. And you don't have to be the all-in member. You could be the $3.99 member and up. But again, the more memberships we get, the more cool shit we could do, the more things that we could do. But bigger than that, if you don't just click the like button, click subscribe, tell your friends to join in, and we could get it in. So that's basically it. Florida State right now, before we get into it, we're ranked 4th in the coaches poll. We're ranked 5th in the AP poll. Brett McMurphy is back on the bandwagon, and Reese Davis hasn't jumped off. They still have us both of them have voted us at 91. The game is the game. That's basically it right now. Florida State's remaining schedule. It looks like we have a duck with Virginia Tech. They're 1-3. I think by the time we play Syracuse, they would have dropped 2 games. They'll be 4-2. Duke probably, it depends. Next week, Duke plays Notre Dame. They have Louisville and Notre Dame, and both of those teams. Well, Notre Dame's 1 loss. Louisville is that's 2. We'll play Wake Forest 3. They're 3-1. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 teams that should be above 500 by the time we play them. Miami may be undefeated. Duke should be undefeated by the time we play them. Florida will probably have 2 to 3, maybe 3 or 4 losses by the time we play them at the end of the season. All kinds of just good stuff. It was crazy, the atmosphere again, that Florida State actually came through and played through. The fans who showed up, man, they showed out. They showed up and showed the fuck out, man. It was deep, especially on the field after the game. A lot of people on the field after the game. People are still talking about have Jordan Travis and the Heisman odds. We'll talk about a lot more about college football on tomorrow's show. We'll talk about UF. We'll talk about UM. We'll talk about Colorado and their first loss to Oregon, who's pretty fucking good. Trying to find something. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to post this because a lot of people said, James, what does this even mean? Like what you just said. And I'll get through it, man. There's slang that a lot of us talk. I love it. It's fun. But God forgive me. what are we looking for? Share screen, boom. A lot of us talk that talk. Nah, I need to get. Oh, I gotta. Should I share my entire screen? Yeah, we'll go with the. Nah, we'll go. Sorry about that. I'm trying. This is what Miles. It's why Miles is better than me at this. But okay, there we go. Miles shares the screen. So we got this guy right here. I called him Danny fruit on the bottom, yogurt head ass boy. And if you're from Florida, you kind of know what we're doing. I don't like this man's voice. He's a weirdo. He looks like a weirdo. I don't like men with both ears. I don't like most men with both ears pierced. He doesn't look cool. I don't like black men who don't care about their hairline. If you look at his edge, if you look at all of this stuff, if you look at this man looks like a man who does not have a positive male role model in his life. What I also don't like is when people with this business is that we give lames no nothings a platform, and people believe that they're good at what they do. Now I'll give Josh Pate his props. Josh Pate actually does research. He just tries to speak on an expert on every aspect, and there's just not enough time to be that. That's why I kind of respect people who follow their schools on the beat and a lot of these different things. But he has the college football's number one college football show, which is a part of Fox Sports. Basically, he's got a battery behind him. They put enough money to market, and then now this shit pops up on our timeline, and he's getting 500,000 people views. 500,000 views and stuff like that on your Twitters, on that. He's probably in some sort of 360 deal damn near. And guys are going to like listen to him, and he's making them a bunch of money. But this is the problem with America, is we keep putting these sassy ass motherfuckers out here that are telling us shit, and then people go and believe it, and he's pandering to a fan base. One of the things that I do know that people know they could do, you strike Florida State's like a fucking hornet's nest. And you kind of suck off the other opponent. That's going to make us mad, and that's going to make the other opponent feel like they have a chance. And if you heard like all the different spaces and a lot of stuff, I actually thought my engagement with Clemson fans was going to be so much different because of the couple guys that I got into it with in spaces. And it's just the troll nature. We got to stop this, man. Let's have important discussions as individuals, and let's listen to what this sassy ass sassafras sounding motherfucker has to say.
Credit for LSU was never in the top 5 for me. They began at 14. I got a hard time moving them past 10. So I'm looking at Florida State, who got that win against LSU, but also just barely beat Boston College, who also nearly lost to Holy Cross. Tell me what you want about Jordan Travis. Tell me what you want about Keon Coleman. Tell me what you want about Garrett Hurst. Tell me what you want about Jaheim Bell. You should not be in a dogfight with Boston College, especially when you were up 31-10. And now you want me to trust you to go into Death Valley against a Clemson team that's been dogged out and expect me to pick you? Well,
let's push pause on this real quick. Why the fuck is he wearing a turtleneck in the summer? Can anybody explain to me? Anybody watch this individual? Like, what is the turtleneck in the summer thing going on right now? And why does he sound like this? Why the Boston College? You barely beat Boston College. You expect me to do shit? Listen to what again? His thing was Clemson was going to beat us because we barely beat Boston College, and he's the only knucklehead in America that didn't have LSU rated as high as what they are. And let's keep going.
It was a weird game, 28-7 to Duke. Turns out Duke is good. We learned that.
Okay.
And Clemson was not as bad as the score would indicate. Cade Klubnik played the worst game I've ever seen him play. Hasn't played like that since. However,
time out. Cade Klubnik played Mandarin Middle School and the Florida Deaf and the Blind School after that. Now, I'm not going to disrespect Cade when we go into the breakdown of the game, but this is his analysis of what was going on. You thick, tongue-tied, wearing a fucking turtleneck sweater in 95-degree temperature having motherfucker.
Now that Dabo Swinney gets to go back to calling them little old Clemson and nobody expects anything from, and I'm the only person willing to rank them. Imagine.
You're the only person willing to rank them. That lets you know everything we need to know.
We live in a world. This is my objectivity on display. Those of y'all to go back with me understand where I'm coming from when I say this. I ranked Clemson when nobody else would in week 4 because I think it's a good football team.
Clemson, I agree with them. Clemson is a good football team.
Just sit with that for a while. I like Clemson. Okay? Yeah, I'm going to pick Clemson to upset Florida State, but I don't think Florida State's that good. Now, Florida State goes.
What I don't. That's it. Now.
And when I'll be the first person to tell you about it right here on the number 1.
He's a liar. Motherfucker deleted tweets. Didn't even come back and tell us nothing.
Football show, but put it another way. Put 2023 Oklahoma up against 2023 Florida State and tell me you're picking Florida State. You a bold-faced lie. You a bold-faced lie. Clemson.
You a bold-faced lie.
Watching the number 1 college football show. Please remember to subscribe to the channel.
It's like he looked like it's like all right. So I'm an MCU Universe fan, right? So it's like he's Childish Gambino in another alternate reality. He's like with the sassy voice and which Childish Gambino is the Prowler. So it's like I ain't even fit. But you know we're still waiting on this. And he doubled down to his defense. He let me see if I have it in my notes here where he came up. If you see the show tomorrow is going to be a little heavy on the little heavy on some Deion talk and some other stuff. It was a lot of good shit that happened, man. You know, because everybody tags me on this stuff, man, because nobody's willing to go out here and defend the fan base. Oh, I'm gonna let you know right here. Oh, somebody owe me for this one right here. Y'all know you're gonna have to answer for this because you know, as far as me and my house goes, me and my household, we are unapologetic. Adam Fuller, apologist. You will not disrespect. I will defend Adam Fuller in the same way that some of you people defend Deion Sanders' foolishness. You will not bash my defensive coordinator. I apologize for the people who see me trying to give you a better show here by giving you the content. That's why Miles is here. Miles literally gets all of this stuff, and it's his job to get me on track and do a whole bunch of shit. But I got the little sassy motherfucker talking that shit. I thought I had the sassy motherfucker. Damn, maybe y'all just added me on it. You know what? Fuck him. We'll give him his proper comeuppance here very soon. That being said, Florida State Clemson was a battle. It was a game of good teams. Now, I kind of got to change my tone a little bit because we only do side games where we're underdogs or in rivalry games. And what I mean is, I don't think Clemson was not a rival when I played. I hate the fact that we view Clemson as a rival and not just as a team that's really, really good, that we have great games against. And Clemson, if you minus the last 8 years, including this one, it's not even close at the mere ass whippings that we've given Clemson. I don't like when we call people rivals because we can't beat them. That is a sign of fucking weakness. If it were going back and forth, like it was like they won 2, we won 3, or if we go the next decade and it's like we're going back, we're trading wins back and forth and they're close, I will concede. But it was a turf game. We dug up the turf. We'll have another game where we'll put stuff in the side cemetery. And you know, but even then, Till Dog Puts, I only view them because of he didn't beat Bobby that often. He only beat his dad when his dad, per PK Sam, he only beat his dad when his dad wanted to save his job. And I'll leave it at that. I'll say that there's a lot of people who view that in a very similar thread. I don't know how I feel about it. I do know we had the number 5 ranked team in the nation going in there in 03. We might have been number 3 ranked team when we went in there in 03, and we were ranked pretty high when we went there in 05. But going through the Florida State Clemson game, I'm going to read you the overall output with the team stats, and then we're going to talk about what happened. Clemson, much like the Duke game, dominated us in every aspect of the game, except for passing yards. But they had 25 first downs. They were 6 for 14 on third down efficiency, which really isn't that. That was more closer. We were 4 for 13. We had 16 first downs. We were tied in fourth down efficiency. They had 429 yards of total offense. They had about 118 yards more than that. And where it really came into fruition was in the rushing game. They had 41 rushing attempts, 146 yards. They dominated time of possession, 34 minutes, 36 seconds. We had 7 penalties. They had 6. They lost the turnover battle, and I'll show you guys that in case you haven't seen it. It's lovely. It just feels good to see that, especially with nephew. They were 25 for 38. They averaged 7.4 yards per pass. We were 21 for 37. Jordan Travis had 289 passing yards. Was banged up, hurt. It was very valiant the way that he moved, and he manipulated the pocket. It's very clear that his arm injury is affecting his accuracy. And we'll go into what I think about each phase of it. Trey Benson had 7 carries, 25 yards. Jordan Travis, 6 carries, minus 2 yards. They add in sack yardage to that. Jaheim Bell, 2 carries, minus 2 yards. Really not sure why we were doing that. Rodney Hill, Lawrence Toafili, nobody. We had 20 total rushes, really 14 that weren't with quarterback. Here's what I do like. The distribution of the ball, 21 receptions, 6 different targets with multiple catches per target. Toafili had 3 catches, Murlock had 2, Bell had 3, Benson had 3, Keon Coleman had 5, Johnny Wilson had 5, Keon with 2 touchdowns. I think if anybody remembers, somebody came in and said we're going to play them one-on-one, and they did most of the game, and it was pretty effective. Nate Wiggins had a really good game until I hope he didn't really hurt himself too much, but Nate Wiggins is a really good corner. I know we wanted Nate. I believe he tore his ACL, and we really jumped. And we really jumped down the throat of our guy. We kill each other on social media before we really even have a chance to really even do anything. And All Dubs ask a great question. Does Johnny have a touchdown this season? No. He's right under 100 yards a game. He's got 303 yards on the season, 4th game of the season. He does not have any touchdowns this year, unfortunately. Everybody, Keon Coleman is just a jump ball magnet. It's not for lack of trying, but the game I tell my guys in the group chat, because they do this during basketball season. They also do this during football season. But I don't watch basketball like that until the playoffs. But I like to read the timeline sometimes, and I'll go read the group chat to get an idea of where we're at or what the game is looking like. And I'll read it, and if I was not paying attention to the game, and I just read what was being said and reported by others, I would have thought like some of the Laker games, like LeBron was getting beat by 40. When I go to it, and it's like they're up by 5 at that point. But somebody misses a shot. Oh, my God, these sorry motherfuckers. They're not doing shit, blah, blah, blah. Florida State went into the second half losing 17-14 to a good team that not one person predicted, outside of Chris. Chris predicted a blowout with Spirax. Nobody else predicted a blowout. And you were down 17-14. And all you saw on the timeline was, we need to fire Fuller. We got to get rid of this motherfucker. He can't do shit. They're not doing anything. Please blitz. Why don't you blitz? Do this, do that. You did the same shit against LSU. You did the same shit against Oklahoma. You did the same shit against Boston College. You did the same shit all last year. And all I did was I put a simple tweet out there. I'm the only person who has noticed this, and I'm the only person who talks about this. Nobody makes second half adjustments like Adam Fuller. And here's the problem. Critique is one thing. Asking for a man's job is another thing. What I'm going to do is I'm going to critique. And my critique of Florida State is that Florida State football has yet to play. Oh, shit. Florida State football has yet to play one game of complimentary football. Now, I got to educate you guys. And that's what I love to do is I like to educate you guys so that you can use these things when you go to other people's message boards and you can win arguments with your friends. Complimentary football is this. I'll use a great team, a national championship winning team. And I'm not comparing this team to LSU, 2019 LSU. They play very complimentary football with a very, very good defensive coordinator. That defensive coordinator did not have a top 20 defense. But that was because his offense scored a lot of fucking points. And what his job was to do was to slow you down to where it slowed you down 2 to 3 times because you weren't going to stop their offense. Their offense put pressure on the other team's offense to change what they do so that they can keep up tempo with their ability to score at any given time. Oh, I'm about to really wow y'all too with some of these stats. I'm gonna go to next year's game. I'm gonna go to last year's game. Excuse me. I gotta pull this up. This is sexy right here. Because a lot of times when we lose, y'all go and people make up these things. And we said this. FSU's defense got put in some, again, I've always said this, got put in some precarious situations. We missed the 4th down. That was in very, very tough territory. FSU's defense would get a turnover, would get a big stop, and then all of a sudden we go 3 and out. And then they get a big play. In fact, right before the play of the game happened, FSU's defense had literally just stopped Clemson. And we went out and we threw an interception, if I remember correctly. No, we didn't throw an interception. It wasn't an interception. We didn't have it. But we went out and, we went out and immediately gave the ball back to them. That's something that just cannot happen. If you want to, again, if we blame the defensive coordinator for lack of stops, lack of creativity, people getting yards, we have literally never blamed the offense of anything since they've gotten here. And the reason is because Fuller was not, we wanted Dan Lanning. We thought Mike was going to bring him. We thought it was another person. I can't think of his name. We thought Mike was going to bring him. It didn't happen. He brought his coordinator from Memphis, Adam Fuller. And Adam Fuller, regardless of what you guys believe, has legitimately done a good job. And you never use the same level of measurement on Adam Fuller that you do on the fucking offense. Because if you did, you would be saying we need to fire our coach because we had 22 yards of total offense. We averaged 1 yard, 22 yards of total rushing. We averaged 1.1 yard per rush. We averaged, we literally only threw 50-50 balls. We don't attack the middle of the field. We don't move the pocket. If you were being consistent and you had the same level of expectation of excellence that you guys say you want and you want so bad, you would literally be using these metrics. But what you have to do is you have to look at what it is. We are not Bama. We are not Georgia. And the reality of the situation, we do not play an SEC schedule. And the SEC schedules do not play teams that spread you the fuck out and try to throw it and create running lanes. We happen to do that. And I'm going to back it up with again, because a lot of you guys don't know how to read a fucking box score. The first quarter. How many points did Florida State score in the first quarter? If anybody wants to answer this question in the comments, I want you to tell me, how many points did Florida State score in the first quarter? I will wait. As I look at what I need to look at as I build my case. All Dubs answers the question with 0. Grant Gray answers it with 0. Damien says 0. Okay. Anybody else? Jeff Allen says 0, and those guys would be correct. I wish I was doing a giveaway if we get to over 100 in the super chat, or we get back to over 100 members sometime. But somebody wants to give memberships, or people want to subscribe, we will do those things. We do have. Oh, by the way, we had 2 guys win MFTK caps. They will get those. I will get those into the mail to you guys on Monday. I love when we're able to do kind of cool giveaways and shit. That was dope. Scored 0 points. Clemson scored 3. In the second quarter, Clemson actually jumped on us. We ended up evening it out for the second quarter. We scored 14. They scored 14. Now, the buzz term last year that everybody was using, what was it called? The middle 8. Clemson likes to utilize this term where they try to really focus on winning the last 4 minutes of the last part of the second quarter and the first part of the third quarter, and they really try to make a move, and they really try to push, and they really try. Well, you know what Florida State did this game? And if you look at last year, they got a really good valid point. Clemson scored 27 points between the second and third quarter. Florida State scored 7 points in that same time span. I don't know who the fuck y'all think we have. I don't know who the fuck, like it last year. Like, who can stop that if you're not putting up the points? But what he did was he stopped them early enough in the third quarter, and they scored no more points the rest of the game. We couldn't score any points in the third quarter. We had an onslaught in the fourth quarter. We ran out of time. In this situation, the guy in which everybody said that we wanted to fire, Florida State beat them in the middle 8. But you know how Florida State beat them in the middle 8? I'll show you. It's a very good play. I happen to like it. I gave it one of my favorite things to give the stuff because I call him nephew, because I can't call him little bro, because I'm way too grown to be his brother, and OG Rob DeLoach isn't that much older than me. He's older than me, but he's not that much older than me. But I'm going to show you guys what happened and why we won the middle fourths. Now, are you ready? Hopefully, have your tithes and offerings ready, because sometimes you got to play a little gospel music for them. Boom. Doors of the church are opened. Do you realize that Florida State scored 7 points in regulation, and that the only points that were scored in regulation were by the defense from the guy that you guys said you wanted to fire because a couple good plays got made where the guys were in position to make the fucking plays. I don't know what to tell you guys, but when you're in position to make a play and you miss the tackle, that's not the defensive coordinator's fault. Now, what we can say is, well, you're playing them. What the problem is if that person's playing them, that means the person behind them can't make the tackle, and we're not ready to develop that person this season, and it compounds the problem. You got to address that in the offseason. Y'all are way too ready to fire people that you have no idea what you're talking about. We need to blitz more. Bitch, we were blitzing. We've been blitzing. They ain't getting home. That's the issue. And Cade Klubnik did what everybody's going to do to us until we continue to recruit better. We keep getting the best people in there, and we're getting more confident play. Cade played the best game that he's played so far. And I ain't even gonna lie to you. We got blessed with a couple drops. We got a guy playing safety that hasn't played safety very much because we got a guy injured. I need my stepson to get a little bit get healthy. That's Keem Dent. If you've been paying attention to me enough, you know, I had a thing for Mama Dent when she first got here. Still, Jennifer Fields is an awesome woman. But we're gonna go through this play a little bit because we can. Now, this is the beautiful thing, and Rob DeLoach can attest to this. When he brought Kalen to me, right before he went to Florida State, we did a workout. I told him, man, this kid is explosive as fuck. His first step is crazy. And if you look where he's at, it looks like people thought it was a corner blitz. Like, no. Nephew's not a corner. Nephew's a linebacker. He's just that athletic. We've got the safety peeking over there. We got the corner in the position to make sure that there's nothing with the quick throw. You got Verse is going to stud inside of that tackle. I mean, the end, whoever that is going to go inside of that tackle, leaving the edge completely there for him to time it up perfectly. But even then, he still goes out, and there's a huge gap. So that shouldn't have happened. Luckily, and what we've seen before, and selfishly, the middle linebacker would have went to that where that gap was. We've seen that happen. If that would have happened, you would have had two guys in the same pair of draws, and they would have basically blocked each other. But because he went where he went, it also made in the line. If you look at the running back's eyes are designed to go inside because where he's at, he's on the left. He's got to go inside out. So he's looking at the middle linebacker to the corner on the backside, making sure there's no backside blitz. Really routine. Everybody does this. Tatum, I'm assuming that's Tate. He does that. It also isolates the running back to where they don't see him coming in. He's coming in clean, and then praise it, precious Jesus, hallelujah, Lord and Savior, Tyrone Christ. And the fumble happens. Now, here's where the unselfishness comes in. Big boy Fisk, I think he's going to start coming on a little bit later in the season. He hasn't really been what I thought he was going to be. I'm not knocking him because it's going to come. I don't really give a fuck when it comes. I care about it coming. Watch how unselfish this is. Because I was like, ain't no way Nephew hit him, caused the fumble, recovered the fumble, and scored a touchdown. Do you understand how difficult that is? Well, that's because he didn't recover the fumble. Fisk recovered the fumble and said, you know what? I'm 300 pounds, bro. We on the 45. It's two of these Clemson guys got me outflanked. I'm going to run the option real quick. So he flicks it to Nephew. And then now you know what Nephew has? Nephew all of a sudden has two blockers in front of him and a caravan of nose. And Big Boy didn't want no smoke, so he got a block. You got everybody's ears coming down, and Nephew slowing down and getting tired. And sometimes, like David's mighty men, you gotta have your Abishai, your Asher Hills. You gotta have your goons with you, and your goons are going to come out there and they're going to do the killings for you so that you can go into your rightful place in the kingdom. See, that's the crazy part. I know that Bible front and back. That's why I don't follow it. Like that's straight up the reason why I don't follow, because I studied that thing. But it's some great ass stories, reflective of life. And nephew went in there and did this again. Anybody want to tell me how many points were scored by the offense in the second half? Not overtime, in the second half. I appreciate that, all dubs. I know a little bit about football, and I try to make it entertaining for you people that, like, instead of the pencil necks, I'm not going to burden you with big words. I'm going to tell you this is how it was done. This is how we talk about shit. And all dubs also answer the question. The offense scored 0 points. But you know what? I saw 0 of on the timeline, and I would have called you stupid if you would have done that. We need to fire Mike Norvell. We need to fire our offensive coordinator. We need to do this. I would have called you stupid as fuck for that too. Because it's microwave, it's not smart. And the best thing that has happened to Florida State, and the reason why I'd argue this one of the points, the reason why Florida State is better now is because for the first time in years, Florida State has had the same consistency. They've had the same defensive coordinator. They've had basically the same offensive architect, to where you're speaking the same language. And what you guys don't understand is how difficult it is to actually take a playbook, learn it, unlearn what you knew before, and then practically apply that shit. I've done it. I had to do it my senior year. It fucked our offense up. And then I had to try to do it in the NFL. And I'm telling you, it is like learning a foreign language, and they drop you off in the jungle somewhere, and you got to know how to speak this thing and defend yourself at the same time. It ain't fun. It is not fun at all. And my guy Bleak, like, the crazy part about this is if Dabo would let Garrett Riley run his offense, all things would be fine. Dabo's got his hands in that too much. I don't know how you guys enjoy the game. Like, I'm sitting here and I'm like, man, this is a good football game. It's just battling. They're going stuff and they're trying to figure each other out. And like, people just, this is why I hate Fuller and third and Fuller and this. And I'm like, are you watching the game? What play? And a lot of times I always ask, what play would you like him to run in this particular manner? What play would you like to see that magically gets to the quarterback? Because when you got Jared Verse, you got Pat, which we did get, I believe we got, was it two sacks? I think we might have had the same amount of sacks when both teams might have had the same amount of sacks. Make sure I go look at this properly. Doesn't show me right there. Go to the box score. Which actually 3 sacks is really good. That's actually that's a good game. Kalen got the 1, Farmer got 1, Patrick Payton got 1, Verse didn't get any. But like, when you have that, like, how many sacks did they get? Because I know we finally gave up. They had 2. I wonder if they want to fire. Do you think they want to fire their defensive coordinator too? He only had 2 sacks, no turnovers. I mean, we had the one phone. They had the fumble loss, no interceptions. Man, wow, jeez. Do everybody like? And I watch a lot of stuff, so I cover a lot of people, and I look at them and I see Florida fans wanting to, and I get where they're coming from. Their defense is actually doing pretty good, but they haven't played anybody besides Tennessee, and I think Tennessee's quarterback just overthrew, and like, but Ian, all respect to them for that. Even Colorado doesn't want to fire Kelly, and we've seen Kelly give up the booty a lot. They do. And I'm gonna give him some good advice. I don't know if he's listening. I think they do. They listen to all the social media. That's why I like, I'm as positive as I am because I like these guys. These are all good guys, really good coaches. And one thing I can promise you is that motherfuckers have spent a shit ton of time at the stadium and they ain't trying to like lose. I can promise you that. There ain't no play in there. Like, you know what? This play isn't gonna work. Let's run that play. Contrary to popular belief, that's not how this shit works. But I will say this, is that Mickey Andrews, like you do it during bye week. It's hard to do it when you got like so much stuff, man. Mickey had a culture of accountability and running and so every game the defense started with, there were 8 possible outcomes that they wanted to have. Hold a team. I want you guys to really listen to I want you to listen to what Mickey used to say. Hold a team under 300 yards. Not under 200. Hold a team under 300. So the GOAT of defense standard was holding a team under 300 yards. That was -1 gasser as a team. They did 8 gassers every week, no matter what. But you can take gassers off. I think it was like hold them under 200 yards passing, hold them under 150 yards rushing. No touchdowns. I mean, I think 3 turnovers. A bunch of different things that they could do, team goals that would take away their 8 gassers. So, like, if they don't reach any of those, let's say it's a loss, right? They got 8 gassers as a unit, as a team. But then what happens is every player gets every play broken down. So let's just say, like, Patrick Payton had 51 plays that game, right? And of the 51 plays, Patrick Payton had 10 missed assignments, 3 loafs, which, that means he didn't give effort, that championship level effort based upon what his coach said. And let's say he got a penalty, a personal foul penalty or a false start penalty. You owe X amount of gassers per that. And I remember when I first met Adam Fuller, when they came over to do like a coach's meet and greet in Jacksonville. And I told him that. And he was like, okay, so like on Monday, you did your gassers, your team gassers, and then like they got their other stuff the rest of the day. And I said, no, hell no. Nah, you did. You gave Mickey Andrews everything you owed him that day. We used to call it offensively. We used to say them motherfuckers out there running a track meet. Them cats was out there doing everything, man. They doing cross country conditioning. I seen a guy do 20 gassers on a Monday practice. And Mickey stayed out, or his coach stayed out there for every one of them. And the reason why it's legal is because it's technically not a part of the 20 hours that they're assigned. You're just so upset with your level of play that you decided that you owed it to your teammates to punish yourself. So you were out there, and the only thing your coach was doing was making sure you had proper supervision so nothing bad happened to you as the adult in the situation. Listen, man, people say, James, why are you so crazy on fumbles? Because Billy Sexton had a no fumble rule. We didn't run gassers. We ran stadiums. I promise you, man, like what I had to do at Clemson was too much like going stadiums. You got to run, we call it 85 steps to glory. So if you're on the side, it's 85 steps all the way up to the top of dope. And it was 5 stadiums per fumble. And I remember I showed up late to we played Miami at noon, and breakfast was at 8. So that was the pregame meal. And I showed up like 8:01. I was running like it was like my first real trip. And I showed up late. I thought I slid in. I thought Coach didn't notice me. And Coach came over there, put his arm around me and said, hey, I just want you to know when we get back, you got 10 stadiums for being late. Patted me on my back and then walked off smooth. I didn't even want to fucking eat anymore. I wasn't hungry anymore. And this man made me run for not eating in training camp because I was undersized where they wanted me to be. I came in and I ran five stadiums, right? And back then, like now, I don't think I have the look or the stare or the glaze, and I still have my friends who are rambunctious and do a lot of wild shit, but I don't really do that stuff anymore. I'm crazy, but I'm not. But I'm logical. I'm gonna try to see everybody win first. You don't ever want me to get to the point where I need to get to the point. I put it like that. So I look at coach and say, hey man, you're gonna have to give me I ain't running no more. I can't run, coach. My legs won't let me run no more. You're gonna have to show me one. You're just gonna have to whoop my ass if you want me to run, if you think I'm gonna run the rest of these motherfucking stadiums. My legs said no. And I think he looked and realized, all right, man, you owe me the rest of them tomorrow. And I think he forgot, and I was lucky. But like, I knew how I felt at that moment. You can't always go back to the pool. I'm gonna whoop your ass to your coach, because that ain't really how you get to the league, and that ain't good for you. But goddamn it, when he said you fumble the ball and you get X amount of stadiums per fumble, you know what I never did? I never fucking fumbled the ball. No excuses. Held on to that motherfucker. Carried. I told that bitch, but I was never fumbling that motherfucker. But I think once we get to a level of accountability, things will change a little bit. That level of accountability will enhance as we continue to add more depth. So I think, and I see it through a lot of people in their social medias, right? I see a lot, because a lot of you guys post your drama, your wins, your successes, as well as your failures. You post them on social media. And a lot of this stuff, when I hear y'all say this, I laugh and I joke, and I'm like, man, you couldn't have waterboarded that information out of me. Like, you couldn't have tortured, you couldn't have forced me to run stadiums until I told you about my love life to get me to say some of the shit that y'all admit to. But it's entertaining. But just because your life is drama-filled and you don't hold yourself to that standard doesn't mean everybody else has to make knee-jerk reactions. And what happens is, when you realize what somebody is that you love is, and you accept them for what they are, you start to hold them accountable to their level of to your level of expectations of the results that you feel that they can produce. Now, if you want to talk about Jared Verse not being able to have any sacks right now, but being one of the leaders in QB pressures, I'm with you on that. I think that's completely unacceptable. I would love for him to get more. I know guys are holding them. Everybody holds. It's just part of the game. If you want me, like, what I'll tell you is my thing is, I think we rely way too much on the 50-50 jump ball. I am pretty sure that they have something that is there and they go through their reads. That's why I'm not really truly just jumping down. And I also know that a lot of you guys don't make your critiques because you like everybody on the offensive side of the ball. And when Mike Norvell came in, there was such a culture of wildness and takes because of what happened. We fired a coach that if we all know, looking back on it, deserved to be fired because he didn't live up to the level of expectation. But at the same time, nobody had ever fired anybody like that before. So a lot of people don't come as hard because you feel like any critique of Mike is basically saying that they were wrong with the hiring. That's not the case. It's not the truth at all. A lot of these guys are big boys. A lot of these guys can tell you the things, and they'll tell you, they stand on business. And one thing I'm pretty sure is, I know for a fact, I can tell you personally that the offense did not come in with expectations to only score 24 points. Just like the defense did not expect to give up 24 points. But at the end of the day, everything else that we say, this podcast, what you guys are saying on the timeline, and I'm going to tell you, one of the coaches told me when I saw him on the line, saw him after the game, I just said, hey, man, y'all did good. Outside noise. We don't care about none of that. All we care about is what's in front of us, and that's how I know that this team is different, because at the end of the day, the only thing that matters is what matters. And these boys went out there and they got that shit done. The shit got done. And I joked with somebody and said, this was me at Goodfellas Cigar Lounge, and my cigar lounge that I own. But this is indicative of Seminole Nation. They won the coin toss. They said they wanted us to go out first. We said, we got an app for that. And Jordan Travis hurt. All of that stuff, Keon Coleman, not necessarily doing the best. Johnny Wilson, our offensive line, gave up the most sacks that they've given up all season. They came out and they did this. Hang that shit in the Louvre. It was beautiful. Let's go back and roll this beautiful bean footage. Now, here's one of the craziest things, too, and why we go for the 50-50 ball, right? Because Keon and Johnny present this problem to DBs, even in good positioning. So we got this thing going. They're running the route. My guy is with them. He's even got help over the top. So Jay Trav, seeing that he has help over the top, obviously I can't throw the fade into the corner of the end zone. That's asking it to be intercepted. So what I do is I underthrow it. And with the underthrow, the corner is still got to go. He's still going forward. So that gives Keon an opportunity to go do what he did very well anyway when he was in high school. He plays basketball, goes up and gets the jump ball. Another thing that he could have done was gone forward a little bit more, turned around, grabbed it on the back shoulder. So there's 3 throws that you can make on this. That's why we go for it, because we have a 6'4" and a 6'7" guy that can high point balls and have big catch radiuses. I had a guy come in and say, man, Clemson's robbers, you guys only did that because Clemson's DBs are 5'6". I said, no, that's not the case. We just got 2 motherfucking power forwards out that bitch that can hoop. He caught it, and now he's in no position to stop Keon Coleman's momentum from getting into the end zone. And then it's beautiful. And I haven't said this, and I don't think enough people give this enough props, but shout out to the Tits for Fits campaign. Whatever that young college lady that's going out there giving, in fact, I need that. He deserves some of that too. But continue to show my guy the Tits for Fits campaign. Reward him for doing things the right way. Tits for Fits came out on the field, kicked the extra point, and then can anybody tell me what happened to Clemson after that? We stopped them. Overtime showed what a beautiful thing Florida State could be. One, once we get in the red zone, we have this opportunities. But 2, the offense moved perfectly. The defense did what they needed to do. Special teams did what they needed to do. This is a completely unstoppable team when all things are working properly. What we have to do as a fan base is have to decide if every week you want to give yourself a fucking heart attack or if you want to just enjoy the game. And I'm also thankful, Damian, I'm glad you put that, because, and I was going to talk about that tomorrow. That's more of the style of big games BS. Thank you to Dabo Swinney. Dabo Swinney, instead of trying to solve his problems through recruiting, which he has done, 56 blue chip prospects, that is a fucking hellacious ratio. One of the best rosters in college football. It's coaching that's not getting it done, and the special teams. He went out and called a kid the same age as me, damn near, that he wouldn't let kick for him when he was in school. I want you to understand that. This boy had never kicked a football in a game for Dabo when he was undergrad. Quit. Came back enrolled and got his master's. Brought him out of a cubicle with a fucking family with 2 kids and said, hey, man, I need you to come out here. He kicked. I was listening to their sports radio on the way in there. He's kicking. He's like, let me call you right back. I'm going to go kick a ball a couple of times. He kicked 3 balls and said, all right, I'll be there on Monday. And that's who you wanted to put who you placed your faith in? Shout out to my guy, Navy Noel. I know you probably. I think you re-upped. I think you've been a member before, but shout out to that. But yeah, man, that's wild. We definitely gonna bring back the hashtag Mike got us stuff, man. We gotta just again. Pump your brakes, slow your roll. And when I saw somebody even tweet, again, it's my friend Sam. I don't know how I feel about that one. I know how I feel. A win's a win. It's not my job to go out here and prepare these motherfuckers. And it's my job to kind of give you an idea what the breakdown is. But at the end of the day, my job is to enjoy the wins, man. You enjoy the wins so that you can. And it's already a tough week, man. You don't get paid $500,000 to break down film and coach guys. I'm gonna be honest with you. The funniest thing about this, and my goddamn is put Sam as a dark side. No, the funniest thing is the two guys who did that are really good friends of mine, Post and Grimes. Post and Grimes were at the fucking game, and even Post and Grimes are just like, "Hey, man, you out of pocket." It is easier to get engaged, and the newest currency is the newest currency or the newest high is attention. It's easier to get attention when you're negative. I mean, hell, I bet if I had a negative show, I'd have probably had over 100 people viewing this right now. I bet if I was like that sensitive, sassy ass motherfucker, whoever it was that I shared, I don't even know his name, I would probably be getting more things. My guy Sam did a great job with his spaces after we lost Travis Hunter to fire Norvell spaces. That got him the most engagement that he's ever had, and it's about engagement. And it's no knock. A lot of the stuff is dope. I think he's great. But I mean, at the end of the day, I've never seen like a lot of guys. I promise you, man, I promise you, wins are not as easy as fans think they is. The game is easy. The execution is hard. If anybody has any, so right now, what we're going to do is I'm going to open the doors of the church. It's Sunday, and a lot of you heathens needed this message. So if you like the message, you can pay your tithes and offerings. This is when you're supposed to do that. But bigger than that, if you have any questions, this would be a great opportunity for you to ask the questions. Because I haven't seen a lot of people saying these things. Maybe it's because I was talking, but if you have any questions, I would love to answer those for you in the best of my ability. I want everybody to realize these are my my inferences. I think it's deeper than opinions. But these are my inferences, and anything that I don't know, I do typically ask when I get the opportunity. We have Coach came in question. There seems to be a narrative that Norvell continues to use formation / sets to set up plays. For instance, Keon Coleman's first touchdown was used as a wide receiver screen earlier. I'll put it like this. That's maybe. But I'm gonna tell you how this logic, right? So you do use things to set up for plays in the end, but you also try to win. Like you can't set up if shit ain't working. So like if you do continue to use the 50-50 balls with your two outside wide receivers, and they're heavily defending that, you should have something in the middle or something with the running back flanking out. Same thing with the pullout game for Jordan Travis, even though I think he wasn't doing that more so because of the injury. If you're doing that, it's not necessarily setting up for later in the season. You're putting stuff on film for people to be aware of. So if they know they got to watch him, what does that do? It sets up the down the field pass. So everything does set up stuff, but I would liken that to if people remember, the narrative was Florida State's good with their what do you call it? I forgot the term. That's my bad. Oh, Florida State's good until they go off script. So what does off script mean? Script means is most offensive coordinators or most people, defense and offense, you have about 20 plays. Your first 20 plays are what they call scripted. It's really not 20 plays in general. It's like about a drive or two so that you can get an idea of what the other team is doing to you. It's based off of what you've seen in film, past performances, and you're going to see what works and what wins, right? So in that situation, you're You're fucking guessing is what you're doing. You're guessing what the defense is doing. And when people said, oh, well, Florida State was on rhythm when they were on script, you're saying we were working when we were pulling shit out of our ass. And when we actually saw what the fuck they were doing, we did not know what the fuck to do. Do you realize you were calling your people stupid on accident? Like, you're supposed to look better because you use the script and you know what they're doing, and now you can adjust. Or if you just fucked up and they're running a completely different scheme than what you coached up, then now you got to go rely on your bait. Now you got to look at what you do very, very well, what your base stuff is, and then go in and coach it up. And you don't really have anything until you get to halftime. I.e., why Fuller might be a better play caller after the half is because he's seen what they're done, and now he knows, all right, we have woo to be able to counteract that. Even though I believe most of the things that Fuller's adjustments are is basically going to motherfuckers and say, I need you to do your goddamn job. If you do your goddamn job, things will be better. That's my thought process. 1 point win or 50-point win goes down the same W in the books. Amen. I tell my kids at Mandarin, I have no problem winning. Like I would have no problem winning an Ohio State championship. Ohio State won that championship. Damn near every game was fucking close. Till dog, I'm coming to the Virginia Tech tailgate and all. And I'm still hurt over Willie letting them spoil the swag surf. Man, I can't listen to that swag surf song at all. We will be having a Virginia Tech tailgate. I just got to get them to announce the time. Once they announce the time, we will do that stuff. Guys, remember, most of y'all are cool as shit. Some of y'all are fucking Karens, man. Like, the tailgate goes to like raise support for the nonprofit. I don't know why people always think we run out of food. There is fucking food at the tailgate. You just don't know where the food is because you were too fucking scared or whatever reason to ask somebody. Like, we had to give away food. I hate wasting food. We ended up wasting food. Cheese had the seafood shit popping during the game. I came and watched the game at the tailgate. I had one person tell me that it was unacceptable and that they didn't like what they were watching. And, I'm like, nah, this is what happened. Your bitch told you that she didn't like it and you wasn't man enough to go with my bad. Apologize. Way disrespectful. Your chick told you that you wasn't that she didn't like it and she wanted some bougie, like soft and fluffy chairs and stuff. And that was never the vibe. It's always been the same thing. We watched it indoors for some people, or some people went and watched it over at Cheese's. It was a whole bunch of cool stuff. It was good vibes. Virginia Tech is going to be that. All you can eat, all you can drink within reason. One person put in their critique, I was told it was going to be a bar. There was no bar. It was a table with liquor on it. Like, bitch, what the fuck did you expect at a tailgate? Did you expect like a Applebee's bar or something? I don't know what the fuck these people thinking. But I think, a lot of y'all might not be asked to come back, if I can remember that shit. But love you anyway, but just, yeah. Do you feel the DBs are too concerned with getting beat deep that they give up the intermediate route more frequently? I think it's more the positioning that they're put in. If you watch the NFL and you watch that, a lot of times big receivers, if they make that, it's really the slant in the post. If you run that properly and you get your body in position, you're going to be able to make that catch unless the guy really jumps it and reads it, but that sets you up for something else. I would have to hear how Coach Surtain is giving what coaching points that they're getting when it gets to that. I think they probably are trying to tell them, keep stuff in front of you as much as possible and get a jump on the ball. Better D-line play, getting pressure on the quarterback also makes that throw a little bit tougher. The guys are getting too clean of a pocket. They're stepping up. Shout out to Farmer, too, by the way. Josh Farmer had a really good game. Putting more pressure. If we get more push, I think things change a little bit. James, what do you think about subs on the O-line outside of injury? I think our starting five are really, really good. I think, we're getting worked a little bit on the right tackle side a little bit. I think that'll come with more technique. I mean, more practice, more reps. Boston College is a big team. they do really, really good stuff. They're just Clemson's been Clemson's talented, one of the best fronts that we've had, but it's hard for me to get on somebody who's only given up 2 sacks in 4 games. I just think our running game is limited based upon us not having Jordan Travis, people not respecting Jay Trav running. I don't really answer about particular injuries. What up, Corey? Nothing wrong with that. Keandre Jones seems to be playing better than Meach. I think it's time to start him. Hey, I don't know. I don't know all of that. I'm not gonna get into those things. That's what I know. They will play who they think is playing. They think can play. A lot of it just has to do with health issues. I'm just glad we're deep. I'm just glad we're 4-0 going into the bye. I'm just glad we're having a good bye week. So I'll let guys any more questions while we're trying to get some of those questions. I'm going to bring this up again. If you get a chance, I'm going to put this banner up so that you guys can know what to do. But the Duke game, we are raising money for my guy Jack Coleman, excuse me. Jack is a young man who's a Florida State fan. He's never been to Doak Campbell. He had a brain tumor, and the surgery and the treatment that he had on his brain tumor has effectively left him blind, and he will eventually go all the way blind. His make-a-wish was to come to a game. And what we've done is we are putting him at the Duke game. I'm waiting for FSU athletics to tell me what their level of what their level is going to be, of involvement is going to be. We don't know. They got to go through compliance, but I do know we've got the hotel room covered through the foundations. I need to get him gear. I need to make sure they're fed, that they don't have anything that they have to worry about. And 6 tickets and an assortment of other things. I want this to be one of the best weekends that he could possibly have. We will document it. We will post it. We will make sure that everybody gets a chance to see it. And so if you would like to, the donations are at mftkfoundation@gmail.com. If you use PayPal, MFTK Foundation on Venmo, money sign MFTK36. If you go in there, put Jack's Dream. If you can make sure you specify that, we would love as many people to get involved. It's going to happen. As of most stuff, I think a lot of people don't know. All I do is tell you guys what I'm going to do, and I give you guys your level of involvement, and what we can do is we can enhance it. It's going to be a dope-ass experience, whether you guys help or not. I've already made up my mind to do the shit, so it's cool. What am I got? Somebody asked me if I had all dubs. Yes, at Big Game, same as my Twitter handle, at Big Game James _36 is my IG. Love that. Yep. My man Corey, I'm definitely going to answer this because he put his membership up again. So, do you feel that the linebackers have played well thus far? Outside Bethune and Deloach, do you see the flash needed overall? I don't want no smoke. And it was DJ Lundy or Bethune put that shit out there the other day, like told motherfuckers, hey, shut the fuck up. I think they have played well. I think, as I've said this all the time, nobody has 85 cats. What you need is you're too deep. You really need 50 people. Because like if you're down to your third string safety, you're fucked. You're fucked. If you're down to your third string running back, it's typically not going to go well for you unless your line is that good. I think Bethune and Deloach are definitely showing that they're well, but you got to look at the plays that DJ Lundy has made this year with the added weight. He's moving just as fast as he moved 20 pounds difference ago. So I like what DJ Lundy's bringing. Omar Graham is showing flashes. He's getting better. He's getting more consistent. And I think those are the guys who have played the most. We have played teams that literally spread us out, man. It is hard to play those guys and continue to go downfield. So I think they've played well, man. I think they're doing well. I think they're going to only get better. I do think we should do a better job of recruiting. And I don't mind recruiting one blue chip guy and a developmental guy. But I think over the next few weeks, Hopefully we won't do 102 players again, but hopefully we'll get into a position where we can play some of those younger guys, get them developed and some more premium games and not just against Ducks. But I think that they're doing fine. What's going on with Holmes? Oh, James, I need a room for me and my wife will be there for the Duke game. Make sure, Rod. You know you got it. You're agreeing. You're a member. Membership, for those who don't know, has its perks. I actually think I only have one room left. I may be able to get guys more. I need to know if you're coming in on Friday or Saturday. Do you need Friday and Saturday, or do you just need inbox me and I'll make sure we get you squared away. For members, if you can go look up a hotel in Tallahassee, look at what the cost would be that weekend. I can assure you it's not $375 a night. For those who are listening, it's the team hotel that you're staying at. So if you come on Friday night, you probably will get an opportunity to meet some of your favorite players. If you need just Saturday, let me know. More than likely that you got to let me know kind of getting closer to it. I could make a call, but I only do that for members. And you don't have to be an all-in member. I only do, but it's $3.99 to be able to get a fucking hotel in Tallahassee, including if you're a FAMU fan and you need a hotel room for homecoming, I can get you basically the same rate. So you got to be a member though to be able to take advantage of that. Keziah Holmes, I don't know. I think it's a level of comfortability. I think Yak is going with in tight games and pressure situations, you go with the guys that you've seen do it. So I think that's the easiest question. That's the easiest way to answer that question in terms of what's going on with those guys. D'Lo reads the nation in pressure rate. Yep. So anybody got any other questions? Okay. What's up, Chris? If nobody has any other questions, man, this went a little longer than I would normally like these to go. Make sure tomorrow morning, 9:30-ish a.m. Big Games BS. Best way to start your day. We'll talk about college football, try to get into some pro stuff. Probably the best morning drive show that you could actually listen to. We have the giveaway. If we get anytime we get to either 100 people on the live or we get to 100 super chat member, $100 in the super chat, we give away a gift. Oh yeah, let me show y'all this too before I go. I had an old pilgrim hit me up and it was dope, man. He got like these programs from back in the day. So like this is the Sports Illustrated. I grew up an FSU fan. I didn't even know we were the number one ranked team in the nation starting off the season. So Florida State had an opportunity to go wire to wire twice if they would have done it. But technically, obviously the loss dropped us, but we started it. We were preseason number one and we were postseason number one, according to the AP and all kinds of cool stuff in here. It's like when you look at, like, for example, some of y'all need this. But when you look at this, look at how much that thing of Wrigley's cost. 25 cents, man. Just sometimes reading these things are really good just for the damn article, not article, excuse me, the advertisements. Like, look at the old man. Man, I miss this guy. This was considered drippy back then. Just, if you're a fan of just football in general, like, this is just cool stuff. Like, we got the Notre Dame 1981. I talked about what Florida State had to go through. They went up there and beat Notre Dame. They beat Ohio State and Notre Dame in the same week. Like, this is how they used to like do like the depth charts and shit. So, cool stuff. One of the cooler ones, got the Orange Bowl versus Oklahoma media guide. We'll end up giving away though. The only ones we won't give away because he specifically asked that I try to get those to to FSU, but I look how much that game day program was, $1.50. I remember selling game day programs at FAMU football games for like $4. And I remember Earl Holmes, he had just got drafted by the Pittsburgh Steelers, came back and he bought one for me. He gave me $100 and told me to keep the change. And it was cool. I didn't even know Kroger was around like back in the day like that. So got Kroger ads. And my dad's from Columbus, Ohio. This magazine, this was a FSU versus Ohio State. And they gave like something like this. It's good condition. And I actually texted my dad a picture of this. And it says it's Damon's ribs. And it says the best, where is it? Where is it at? Yep, the best ribs in Columbus, Ohio. And I asked him, and that's where my father's from. I was like, Dad, the Damons really have the best ribs in Ohio? And he said, you goddamn right. He said, them shit's good than them motherfucker. I said, damn. DJX 904, James, what's or DJX 904, what's up with the long drawn out plays, passing plays that take forever to develop? It's just jump ball 50-50 things. That's just what we're reading, and that's what they're going for. I don't think we want to do the quick rhythmic passing game. I don't know. I don't think people understand how strong your arm has to be to be able to complete those quick slants and shit like that. So, on that note, appreciate you guys listening to me. We'll hopefully see all 60 of you guys and your friends. Share it, like it, retweet, go back into the comments, ask questions, put these different things. We will talk about some of this stuff tomorrow as well. Appreciate you guys for chopping it up with me real quick. And I know this, man. I'm gonna leave you guys. If you're not as excited as this person right here, man, I don't know what you want. You need to go find something else to do with your life. But this is how us as a fan base should be all day, all week, for the next 2 weeks, because we can't lose to the bye.
It's been 7 years since we've done shit. It's been even longer since I felt proud in this program. Those guys together. Jordan Travis is a fucking man. Keon Coleman's a dog. Absolute dog. But not any other dogs. Tatum Bethune, dog. Jared Verse, dog. Fabian Lovett, dog. Johnny Wilson, dog. Trey Benson, dog. We coming for you. Number 1 in the country. Georgia Bulldogs, watch out. Michigan Wolverines, watch out. Best backfield, best linebacker, best quarterback in the country. You name it, we're coming for you. We can win.
Hey, enjoy it. See you guys tomorrow.